Today we're looking at the new Liemke Keiler 1 handheld thermal imaging device. This is the 35mm wide angle version, which I particularly like, especially when we're woodland stalking here up in Scotland. It's a great little handheld thermal unit. Fits very easily into your pocket. Twin strap, so it's easily carried around. You have 9 hours at least of battery life, which I find very, very useful. That'll last you all evening or all day. You know, it's no problem. It's not too overcomplicated either. You've got a really simple system here of buttons, which we'll go through later. I'll show you all the functions through the camera. But it's a particularly good on-off switch. I really like it. It's not a push-down button. It's an actual click on and off. And you've got standby mode as well. So you can switch it on. It takes about 4 or 5 seconds, but switch to standby, and then back to on again, goes on instantly. So something you don't miss game, is basically what I'm trying to say. As soon as it comes out, it activates it. You've got a very, very intuitive system. I'm a bit of a technophobe. I don't like too many menus in menus. I've got to be on you. This is very simple. You've got 5 different colour modes: white hot, black hot, extra dark, rainbow and red. Great for distinguishing different types of game out in the field against different types of backgrounds. You also got digital zoom. I don't tend to use that too much because you'll see it does get a little bit pixelated, but it's still quite good for recognising smaller game out in the field. You've got picture in picture. That's very, very useful, and it's all controlled by. There is a menu button, but you can scroll with a little wheel here on top. Very, very intuitive, very easy, and it's a couple of pushes or a long hold on the push down. And it works very, very well. I'm very impressed with this. So that's the new Liemke Keiler 1, and we'll see how it operates because we're out roast stalking later on, and we'll see how the hunt concludes.
Right, so let's look at the controls. You have a really good on-off switch in standby mode, and it only takes 5 seconds to switch on the Keiler 1. And then if you switch to standby and then switch back to on, it instantly goes on, so no game is lost, and you're also saving power. The controls are very, very simple and intuitive to use. There are a series of push buttons, waterproof on top of the unit, and you also have a very, very good and positive feeling thumb wheel for navigation. So let's look at the individual buttons. The front button takes a picture with a single press, or you have a long press that starts a video, and that is stored to the onboard 32 gigabyte hard drive. The second button down is the function button. When you press that, this is set to rain and sun mode, and this gives a better contrasting image in different weather conditions, but this can be customized, which you'll see later. The third button is a navigation wheel that you use in conjunction with the rear button, which is the menu button. Press down the menu button and hold for menu, and then you scroll through the different menu options with the wheel. It's so much easier than using an up and down button that you have on similar thermal imagers, and it's much easier to use in the dark. Also, charging is very, very simple. I like the system because it's a removable battery, but you can charge inside the unit itself with a USB-C port, and that normally takes about 3 hours, and it will last up to 9 hours out in the field. Right, so that's all the navigation and the buttons. Let's go and look at the stats in more detail. One thing I really like, it's a really nice compact unit. It's 158 by 72 by 47 millimeters, and it weighs only 465 grams, so it easily fits in your pocket, and it's very, very easy to use out in the field. You'll also have waterproofness up to IP67, which makes it very, very good for, especially for our British weather. The 2 or twin elasticated straps to either side give a really good grip, and the whole unit is very well built with an aluminium casing with glass fibre panels and rubber inserts, so it's very comfortable and robust out in the field. This model comes with a 35mm f1 lens, whereas the Keiler 2 comes with a 50mm lens. I actually prefer the 35mm lens because it gives you a really good field of view of 22 metres at 100 metres, and that gives you maximum detection range of 1,750 metres, which is very impressive. I mainly woodland stalk, so the 50 Hz refresh rate is very good. You don't get a blurred image if you're moving the Keiler backwards and forwards, scanning for foxes, deer, or any other game. The OLED screen is very, very high contrast and really punchy with a 1024 by 764 pixel. Again, very clear image. And you also, I'm talking about clear images, you get a 12 nanometer 640 by 512 Vox uncooled sensor, and this again gives a very smooth image and sharpness even when you zoom in. So overall, a nice set of features. So let's dive into the menus list, and then we'll show you some footage of game out in the field I took. So once you've accessed the menu, you can choose the features. Here you have the picture-in-picture, which gives you a magnified zoom of 3 times of the object you're looking at. Really handy. And then you can that's using the menu button and the navigation wheel. You can then go to the menu and choose an image mode. And here we've got the sun and rain for contrast in different weathers. Next we select the color mode, and we have extra dark. Now it's red, extra dark, white hot for instant recognition, and black hot, which I particularly like, gives a little bit finer detail I find. Then we have a ranging bracket, that's 1 meter at 100 meters, and that rose is about 116, so that's, I'd say that's almost spot on, so that gives you a good indication. You have a Wi-Fi setting on and off, there's picture-in-picture mode, zoom, the ranging bracket we mentioned before. If you hold down the menu again, you go into the full menu, and there you have options where you can inactivate main menu options, auto zoom settings, calibration, input mode, memory, pixel repair, all that sort of thing. It's quite handy, but you know, you can go through that at your leisure really. So we took the Keiler 1 out into the forest of Argyll up in Scotland, and you can see instantly on black hot this rodo walking out of the forestry across this field that's about 160, 170 yards away. Instantly picks it up. But I noticed something also to the right behind the trees. And if you look closely, there's another black image there, and the head goes down. I mean, look how clear that is on that 12 nanometer screen, or the sensor picks it up very clearly. I wasn't sure if that's another row or it could be red. So what you do is I then flip through the different color modes. So we have white hot, okay, that shows the heart, and can you see there's another one to the right? So I think there's 2 there. Go back to the row, still see the row very clearly. Extra dark. And look at the red. I mean, that picks up all the heat off the trees there. And remember, this is complete darkness. Go back to the reds. Now you can see there's a red, and there's another red to the right, just behind the tree. The heart and lung area really shows up well. Also, the rainbow is another good way of indicating deer from the terrain and background. Also, look though, the granite beneath that tree, that shines up as well, so be very careful. I then went down to the lock side, and lo and behold, another rodo. She must have heard a little bit of noise. I was downwind, but again, flipping between white hot to black hot. I mean, you can see, and there we have the colour. Look at the clarity from that Keiler 1. And flipping through, we now go back to the backfield. I just wanted to see what the red were doing. They'd walked across the field, and you can see that it's a hind and 2 calves. And they were a bit spooked. I thought, why was that? So I looked to the right, and there was a fox out. It's amazing. So we had a fox now coming down where the red had originally been, and he had no idea. He just sat down, scratched himself, completely unaware. So using the picture-in-picture, you can actually see this red hind and the calf to the left, and with the picture-in-picture you can clearly see now much more detail on the black hot. It is in fact a hind, it's not a stag at all. And I was thinking, where's the roe gone? I was doing the picture-in-picture on the hind, and then boom, up came a roe. She was actually bedded down in the marram grass, and that hind in the background gave a good indication that she was there, because her head went up, and now she's relaxed and feeding, because she thinks, oh, it's not me, it's actually a roe. And you can tell that they were totally relaxed. I was downwind, they had no idea I was here, because the roe started walking towards me. She's now 25 yards away. Remember, this complete darkness, and look at the clarity from that Keiler 1. I mean, personally speaking, I'm very impressed with this unit. It's very compact, it's incredibly good quality, very easy to use in complete darkness, very quick to focus. So next morning I went out, and this is just before daybreak. I thought I'll just sit down, I've got the rifle now, and I thought there she is again. She's just behind the tree, she's about 120 yards away. It's just getting light. I wait for it to become legal, because we can't shoot deer at night here in Britain. So I then put down the Keiler 1 and waited till a legal shot, and that concluded the hunt. I mean, truthfully, very impressed. Right, well, that's quite an interesting stalk with the new Mauser M12 Max in 308. We're here up in Argyll in Scotland after rodos, as you can see, and we spotted the this road, probably across the forestry about, I don't know, 200 yards away with the new Keiler 1, which is a very, very nice thermal imaging device. Fits in your pocket very easily, and so we've managed to spot the road doe in the thick old marram grass, and then we stalked into about 120 yards, not that too far, and the Mauser M12 concluded the stalk. So we'll have some nice venison tonight.